Hey guys, I'm back today, and today I wanted to share some tips on traveling with children. I personally grew up traveling a lot with my family since I was a little girl. I took my first international trip when I was 4 months old, and we used to travel every year. But I didn't start enjoying travel until I was a teenager and started traveling on my own. Or even when I went with my family, I was the one that suggested the travel or made the travel plans. I think that made it where I could not take ownership of the trip. Like it wasn't my trip. Like I didn't get any say in it. I didn't help plan it. So I didn't enjoy it. The key difference between that scenario and how we travel now is that when we travel, we let our kids know, and now it's kind of second nature because we've been traveling so much, that this is our trip. Like this is all of our trips. So one of the tips I have is that before you even travel, before you have a destination, sit down and talk to your kids about what would they like to accomplish from this trip. So you need to have certain goals of why you're going on this trip, right? My kids know that when we travel, we've invested a lot of time, energy, money into planning this trip, and that something needs to come out of it. Enjoyment, relaxation, some new experiences. And it's okay if you guys have slightly different goals from the trip, as long as there's a bigger picture in place and that everybody is aware of what's going on. So say that you go on a trip and your husband and you want to relax on the beach and just hang out on the resort, but your kids are looking for an adventure and they want to go out and do things. Well, obviously, if you wake up every morning and just lazing around, that's going to upset them. That's not going to be fun for them because they don't know what you're trying to do and you don't know what they're trying to do. There's no communication there. So what we do is we sit down and we say, okay, where do we want to go? Should we go to Puerto Rico? Should we go to Cancun? You kind of throw the places around and see, and then you talk about what you want to accomplish. So, and it could be a couple different things, but as long as everybody's on the same page and you know what your goals are. So some of our biggest goals are we want to experience different cultures, we want to experience different foods, we want to learn how other people live. So having said that, now when we go ahead and start packing and things, my kids are not going to want to take everything in their room with them because they know that the purpose of this trip is not to go and do somewhere else exactly what we do at home. The purpose of this trip is to go on an adventure, experience new things, so it doesn't make sense to pack your entire bedroom to take with you. So I'm going to do a packing series later on with kids, but you see how having a general overview goal of what everybody's trying to accomplish will help all the other processes along, and everybody's going to enjoy this trip. Another thing that we do is so when we have a location, let's say we sat down, we decided that for this trip we're trying to accomplish these 3 or 4 things. And then once we have a location, we tell the boys to go ahead and Google that place and get excited about it. So my older one will go to YouTube and he'll watch YouTube videos on that particular location. He'll Google, top things to do there. All of a sudden, they are part of that planning process. They're helping you. My 5-year-old doesn't know, he's just now learning to read. But what he does is, I didn't even know you could do this until he taught me this, is he presses like the Google Voice thing on his YouTube, on his tablet, and says, let's say if we're going to Cancun, he will say Cancun, and like videos will pop up and he'll click on it and watch like Cancun videos. So once they have that ownership and they're helping part of the process, you will be amazed at what a different experience it is for them. They are a part of this journey with you. They're not kids just being dragged along their parents' vacation. So that is, I think, a key difference between how we used to travel as kids and how my kids travel and why they enjoy it. So the second thing is that we've done this for all of our trips, but you kind of have to set it somewhere. So you decide that when you come back from the trip, that your kids are required to do certain things. So my oldest one, what he does is he writes either a 2-3 page essay on his experience, or he'll do a PowerPoint sometimes. And his teachers have been really, really cooperative last 3 or 4 years in letting him present that to his classmates, and it's been an amazing experience for him. He gets so excited. I know when we're traveling, he says, I'm gonna make sure that I go ahead and include this on my, in my presentation, or I'm definitely, or he'll stand next to something and say, oh mom, can you take a picture of me here for my presentation. Now this is a kid that used to hate having his picture taken. If you see any of Armand's like earlier pictures, he's always frowning in them because he hated having his picture taken. Now all of a sudden he wants to be a part of that process because he wants to include those in his presentation. And that way also he has all his previous essays and he can refer back to them and look and say, oh yeah, I remember Mom, I remember when we did this, or I remember when we did that. We have the pictures to go along with it, but he also has an account of his own trip in his own words. And what my 5-year-old does, since of course he can't write yet, he's just now learning, is on the way back, either on the flight or when we're driving back from the airport or whatever, he will tell us everything that he loved about the trip, whether he would go back, what would he do differently, what things he definitely would do again. And that just helps them remember, because sometimes if it's a 10-day trip, you will realize that, you know, a 5-year-old might forget that. So when they're coming back and they're rehearsing, you know, oh, well, we did this, we did that. Sometimes, oh, you remember when we ate over there? It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, we did. And especially with younger kids, they will forget about those vacations unless you kind of sit around sometimes and talk about them and view the pictures. And that's why Ayan, my middle one, celebrated his 3rd birthday in Dubai. And he remembers it very clearly only because over the years we've spent some time looking at the videos, looking at the pictures, and talking about that trip. So, you know, a 3-year-old is going to eventually forget unless he is constantly reminded about that experience that he had. So I think for us that works, and it's an important part of it. So it helps really give the kids ownership. I always get compliments on the plane, everywhere we take our kids, that they're so well behaved, they know how to order their drinks. The flight attendants will go out of their way to pull us aside and let us know that how much they appreciate it, that they are the most well-mannered kids. And I don't think it's because we've somehow properly trained them to be this way. This is their trip. They want to make sure that they enjoy it. Remember, a lot of times we get caught up in having our kids behave a certain way so that we can have a good time or that they don't interrupt other grown-ups around us. But remember, we have to plan and let them know and make sure that they're aware of the fact that we're there to make this enjoyable for them too. This is their trip. This is their life. They're also investing. You know, travel isn't always comfortable. The part of traveling is being a little uncomfortable and learning other ways of living and speaking and eating and other cultures. So if you're there expecting to take them out of their element but behave in a certain way, that's not going to come across so easily to maybe a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old. But unless they have a goal in mind, unless they take ownership of that, that's when you will see that they will naturally want to experience new things. They are going to be okay with being a little uncomfortable at times. They're going to be okay with not having all of their toys and belongings with them because they're on this adventure to something bigger and greater than them. They're on this personal growth journey. But you have to make that clear. A 5-year-old is not going to figure that out by themselves. So I think that is the most important thing, is to set those goals and expectations even before you leave the house. I will do more of these travel series with kids. Go ahead and post your comments and let me know other areas that you would like me to cover. I'm definitely going to be covering the packing tips though. I think that's important. I'll catch you guys later. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Guys, subscribe for more videos. Let me know what you're looking for and I will be more than happy to do those videos for you guys. Share this if you found this helpful. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.